My first time like going on a live stream.
No need to be nervous. We are live now. Hey everyone, welcome to the last mock interview of this season during the holidays. We have Mekhul here with us, all the way from Kerala. Mekhul, thanks for joining us today. I understand you're applying for for different masters in management programs. That is awesome. One of them is Duke, so we are going to do a Duke interview style thing. And Fuqua has been one of my favorite schools. I applied to Fuqua, and I have a ton of friends there. So I'm really happy that you chose to apply to Fuqua because it's such a great school, and I've always had great conversations with people who went to Fuqua. Awesome. So with that said, let's jump in. The structure, I'm sure you know it. I'm going to ask you a few questions. I'm going to think about your answers and try to give you some feedback. And then maybe we can also talk a little bit about your goals and why you're choosing to do the master's program that you are, and we're going to jump into some of your experience as well. Okay. Cool. So let's get started. So Michael, why don't you start by telling me a little bit more about yourself?
Yeah, hi Souvik. I'm Metal. So I have an undergrad in physics, and I currently work at Tata Consultancy Services as an assistant systems engineer. I have currently about 2 years of full-time work experience after graduation, and yeah, I work for a US client, Western Union, as a contractor. And yeah, I currently now work in a purely technical role. So I wanted to move from here into a business role. And yeah, that's why I chose to do an MIM program so that I can get the necessary qualifications and hone my business skills in order to make that transition.
Okay, cool. What did you think about this answer?
Yeah, it was not entirely specific, but a little vague here.
Okay, cool. So one of the things that I tell people about the introduction is that I have your resume. Your interviewer presumably will have your resume as well. What you want to do for these kind of questions where you introduce yourself is not as much as the what of your background, but more around the why. So when you tell me that like you studied physics in undergrad, tell me a little bit more around why you chose to do physics. I'm sure you had a ton of different options, especially because you're in India. I'm sure you were tempted to do engineering or maybe math or other sciences. Tell me a little bit more about those decisions as well. And then because you're a lot younger than most applicants applying for MBAs, master's program students tend to be younger. So tell me a little bit more as to the most experience in college. What were you proud of? And then when you moved to working for full time for TCS, tell me a little bit more as to why you decided to transition, why TCS, about your current role you're most passionate about. And then you mentioned that you're in a very technical role right now and you want to move to a little bit more of a high level stuff. So give me some motivations around that as well. So I think that's my overall feedback. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's great. So should I go again a little bit into depth?
Yeah, go for it. If you want to try again, absolutely.
Yeah, so I'm Michael, and I had done an undergrad in physics. So uh, from my at the time of deciding which degree to choose, also I wanted to actually uh, I know that I wanted to do my career in business. So, but I didn't want to lose my touch in hard sciences. So that's why the reason of me choosing physics. And yeah, after my graduation, I wanted to work in a good MNC, or to get to know that corporate culture and how the big organizations works and like that. So I chose TCS as a good opportunity to start off my career. So I went in there as a graduate trainee, and I got around to promoted 2 times into a post of assistant systems engineer. And yeah, I have grown and I have shown significant impact there. But I feel that like I cannot grow within my organization any further without the necessary business qualifications or skills. So that's when I realized that I have to do a master's program or like get those necessary business skills in order to move forward. So.
Okay. So, jumping on from that point, tell me a little bit more about what specific things do you need out of the Masters in Management program?
Okay, yeah. So as I have my undergrad in physics and like all my courses are related to sciences or kind of things only, nothing related to business. And also during my work experience, also I didn't got an opportunity to like manage teams or get my like business skills or people management skills out there. So I just like wanted the background in like economics, finance, and those necessary business subjects, and I needed to like have a practical experience on that. So I from the program uses case study methods, and so I believe that I can even use that apply what I learned in the program itself, and yeah, I can move further forward.
Okay. So I think this answer could be improved a little bit more because I think what you're saying is, what you don't have, but you want to talk a little bit more about where you want to be. So you're telling me that I've never managed teams, I've never done this, I've never done that. But what I want to know in this answer is why do you want to learn those things, right? Of all the things that you could learn in a master's degree, I
Mhm.
mean, for example, you could do a master's in physics, or you could do a master's in technology, or things like that. So what I am missing from this answer is an alignment with your goals. And I don't think you have told me, hey, Mikhail, what do you want to do 5 years from now? What do you want to do 10 years from now, right? So unless you are telling me, look, Shovik, this is where I want to be, but this is where I am right now. And this gap I'd be able to fill with this MIM program. And then you can go into details on, what specific things that you will learn, what you are most looking forward to, and stuff like that. So unless you introduce it in terms of your goals, your short and long term vision, it's going to be hard for me to buy this argument that you need to manage people, because there are so many different things that you can do. So that's where I would push back on this answer. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes. Like I'm also working on that. So I have my long-term goal of entrepreneurship, and yeah, that's why also I wanted to do it in tech industry. So that's why I have a like a short-term after the immediately after the program, I wanted to join in a product management or project management kind of role, so that I can build
Mhm.
upon those skills and gain that experience and like yeah, in when the time comes, I can start my own venture. So.
Okay, cool. So tell me a little bit more about why Duke, why Fuqua?
Okay, yeah. So, when I looked at the MIM programs, I can see that Duke's MMS program is like well established when compared to the other programs in US, those which have like been recently started. So, yeah, Duke's program is established, and yeah, Duke has a really tight knit and like close engaging community. So, I I tend to give both like equal importance to both the studies as well as the extracurricular activities. So yeah, I wanted to engage in that community and be part of it.
Mhm. Okay. So this answer, it really needs more specifics than what you
Mhm.
gave me. So you can say that you want to focus on academics and extracurricular, but unless you give me specifics of those things, it's going to be very hard for me to um, to to understand how much research you have done on Fuqua, if you have talked with people. So you need to give me very specific examples. Like generally speaking, what people do for answers like these is, um, I want to go to Fuqua for three reasons. Academically speaking, I want to take these classes. I want to, learn from this professor, or or I want to go for this specific academic experience. Second, professional development. Professionally, I want to be a part of this club, or I want to do an internship here, or that's the kind of experience I'm looking for, and mention specific Fuqua resources. And then finally, the community, team Fuqua is super important to me. I think I've always been a part of close knit communities, and I think I'll be able to get a lot of value from that. For example, when I spoke with the student, he or she mentioned how Team Fuqua helped her launch her startup, etc. And because I have my own entrepreneurial goals and ventures, I want to follow her footsteps, something like that. So yeah, so overall, unless you're giving me really specific things about Fuqua, your interviewer is not going to be happy with the answer you gave me. Does that make sense?
Yeah, yeah, it does actually. Yeah.
So do you want to do that again, or do you want to jump to another question?
Yeah, let's do that again. Okay. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, I wanted to join Fuqua because of a few reasons I had. The first one is the program is well established when compared to the other MIM programs, and yeah, that means the program has made its impact in there, and I could see that many alumni or also in very high career positions when compared to the other programs. So yeah, that program has its recognition. That's one of my reasons. And yeah, the next one is I have a long-term goal of entrepreneurship, and Fuqua has really good resources that's not only available to students but also to alumni. And I had read many alumni stories where they can come back to reach out to Fuqua, in which the team provides the necessary support to even start their own ventures like that. So I wanted to make use of that resources at Fuqua. And yeah, I've been always part of a close knit community, and I have even in my undergrad had engaged with many organizations and clubs in my college. So yeah, I
Okay.
believe Fuqua has those opportunities, and I want to use that.
Cool. So I think overall better answer, but you have to sort of do more research into Fuqua and then
Yes.
get those into your answer so that it doesn't sound vague. But I think overall, definitely moving into the right direction. Okay,
Oh,
so let's jump into some of your experiences. Can you tell me about a time when you had a big conflict at your work, and tell me a little bit more about how you navigated that conflict?
okay. Yeah, I have to work on that answer, I think.
Okay, let's try a different question. Can you tell me about a time when you faced a challenge at work? Tell me what was the actions that you took and what was the outcome.
Yeah, so I have been recently promoted into a new compliance team of Western Union, and yeah, my ongoing transition was planned around 2 months, and suddenly one of the associates left, and I had to fill in that role. So what came as a 2 months transition was in a 1 week. So I had to put that efforts, and I had to learn those all those new technologies and new things in there, and in order to make that transition. And yeah, I put in more effort, and yeah, it worked perfectly.
Okay. I think what's generally missing in this answer is the real gravity of the challenge. I am not sure you're describing the challenge well enough. So
Hmm.
one of the ways for you to do that better is to really tell me what was at stake. So give me more context. What would have happened if you failed, or what was on the line? Maybe it was your credibility, or maybe it was a big launch, or maybe it was your manager trying really hard to make that successful. unless
Oh,
you're telling me some of those types of context, it's really hard for me to understand, why this was important, why this was super challenging. So does that help? Does that make sense?
yes, yes, that does. So, yeah,
Um,
I haven't worked on
the
these
other
questions actually.
Right. So
Yeah,
what kind
I
of
did.
questions have you worked on? Let me try to understand that a little bit so I can tailor the interview into more as to what you have prepped for.
Actually, I haven't started prepping for the behavior kind of questions. So I was
Okay.
like working only on those goal and normal kind of questions.
Okay. Cool. So let me ask you one last question and then we can try to wrap up. Can you tell me where do you see yourself 10 years from now?
Yeah, so 10 years from now, I see myself as an entrepreneur, start like doing my own venture, probably in the tech industry or energy industry, because I really wanted
Okay.
to make a difference. And like, yeah, as even from back also, like I had a thing for energy, and that's one of my reasons, even choosing my undergrad in physics. And yeah, I wanted to get into those, start my own business and get the necessary skills to do that. Yeah, that's why I chose Fuqua. And
Okay. So for this answer, I think you're touching the right direction, like around entrepreneurship, and you're also specific, like which industry and which sector you want to be a part of. I think what you
yeah.
want to do on this answer as well is tell me about a problem that you're solving, which will then help me understand why you want to be an entrepreneur and why in the tech or the energy sector, right? And also, tech and
Mhm.
energy, they're very different. So, if you could tell me that, Shovik, one of the things that I'm really passionate about is solving the energy crisis. 90% of our energy is not renewable today, and that leads to massive amounts of climate change and an early death of the planet that we live in. So I want to be able
Mhm.
to solve this problem by founding my own energy venture 10 years from now. And here is why I think that's super important. And then you can go on to like describing what your company will do or where you want to work on. But unless you give me, the motivation of starting that company, you are not going to be able to get buy-in from me. Does that help?
Yeah, yeah. Like I have to be more specific about like why I wanted to do this, and I have to like convince that
Yeah,
reason, right?
correct, exactly. And so there's a difference between showing and telling. Like you can tell someone something or you can show someone something, and showing is always a better way to convince someone. Okay, so let's focus on some of the other few core related things. So let's say your short-term goal. Tell me a little bit more about your short-term goals. Actually, what do you want to do right after the MIM program?
So like I wanted to get into a position where I can manage a bunch of people, or like as a project management or product management in like firms like Amazon or Google. So I wanted to, yeah, like I have the necessary technical skills, and I need to hone my business skills, and I needed a platform where I can show like keep both of them hand in hand. So I believe that the uh, for like position like project management is really fit for me. So yeah, that's my short term goal.
Okay. So let's say your short-term goal doesn't work out. You don't get a job with Amazon or Google. What would be your backup plan?
Okay, yeah, my backup plan will be in a managerial position at any fintech firms, because like I've been working with a fintech firm, Western Union, and I really like that industry, and I really wanted to get into that compliance part of that fintech industry, where like money laundering and like anti-money laundering and those kind of sections. Yeah, that would be my backup plan.
Got it. Cool. I think these are good. I think you're tying to your background a little bit. I think what I'm facing a little bit of challenge here is how it relates to your long-term goal. And also, by the way, like coming out of MIM and starting to manage
Mhm.
people immediately, I don't think that happens. Like for example, product managers in any tech company, they're all individual contributors. They don't manage anyone. So just be a
Mhm.
little bit careful about what you're saying
Okay.
because straight out of business school, you don't really get to manage a lot of people. Just think
Okay.
about that a little bit, and for your backup plan also, tie it into your long-term goal. Like, look, I mean, okay, even if my first plan does not work out, I can still achieve my long-term goal of entrepreneurship through doing this or that. And I think the more you do that, the more I get convinced that yeah, Michael really wants to be an entrepreneur, and he has really thought about the different ways to get there.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I get that now. Yeah, I need to, yeah, do some more research and work on that.
Yeah, I think that's my overall feedback. But overall, I think you're going in the right direction. I think you need some, more Fuqua-based research, and
Mhm.
maybe you need to talk to a few alums or talk to a few current students. But other than that, I think you're really getting to get to the grind. And please keep me posted or keep others at GMAT posted on how things go for you. And if you
Yeah.
need any help with behavioral questions, and as you start prepping more, I'll be happy to send you some resources.
Yeah, sure. And also, Savik, like I have talked to some alums, and they said like project management is like a common, not entirely common, but yeah, somewhat common role after the MMS
Yeah.
degree. But like, yeah, now you said like it contradicts now. So
Yeah,
is
no,
that
I think it's a common role, but I don't think
oh,
you'll be able to manage people in that role.
okay?
So
Oh,
it's uncommon to have direct reports in a project manager or a product manager role right out of MBA. It can happen after like,
mhm.
3, 4 years of being there, but it may not happen immediately after.
Oh, okay, yeah, like so, yeah, I just needed to be more a little more careful about yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Okay. I think you're in the right path, and thanks so much for spending time with us. Please let me know if you need any help, and stick around GMAT Club. I think we'll have a ton of new interview content coming soon. And yeah,
Yeah,
and then we will see you on the community.
yeah, sure. Thanks, thank you, Sovic, for this.
Thanks, Michael. Speak to you soon. Bye.
Yeah, yeah. Happy New Year. Bye.
Happy New Year to you too. Bye.